Good morning, LW, and welcome back to KANG News. I'm Kyanna.
And I'm Jessica. Happy December, everyone. One of my favorite parts about this time of year is seeing everybody's holiday lights. As you and your neighbors put up your decorations, send in a picture or video to s-dfialo@lwsd.org to share some holiday cheer. If you're looking for another way to get into the spirit of the season, definitely check out Theaters Club's production of It's a Wonderful Life, the radio play.
The performances will be live through Teams and they are completely free. It's a great night for friends and family who know and love the movie as well as new fans. Make for yourself a nice cup of cocoa and join in on the feel-good holiday fun. The show is good for all ages, don't miss it.
Tomorrow is the last day to donate blood to Keith Lubb's blood drive this year. All you need to do is go to www.bloodworksnw.org and sign up to donate at your preferred time and location. Use our code LWHS so we can keep track of our school's contribution. Remember that just one donation can save 3 lives. Feel free to email via at s-mmpekes@lwsd.org if you have any questions.
Online learning hasn't created any opportunities for Yearbook to capture your school experience this year. In order to make this yearbook the best it can be, the yearbook team needs your help. They are looking for photos that could be included on the portrait section opening spreads, as well as photos to feature on the student life club and academic section opening spreads. If you have any photos that could fit into these categories, please email them to Ms. Kreutz at hkreutz@lwsd.org. Let's work together to make this yearbook epic.
Next up, we would like to highlight our new teacher of the month, Miss Pfister. Audrey from KANG News sat down with her earlier this week. Let's check it out.
So this is your first year at LW, and obviously it's not the most conventional year. What are some of the biggest challenges that you've faced?
Well, I wasn't here in September. I'm a long-term sub for Casey Rummel, so I didn't get the opportunity in September to build those connections and relationships in those first few days. So that was a challenge, and it's been hard just not being in a classroom, which is the same challenge that every teacher and that every student is facing this year. I miss seeing faces while I teach. I feel that it's been particularly challenging for me as well to ensure that my students are receiving the support they need. I so miss being in a physical classroom where I can see if my students are struggling or confused, and I hope that my students feel comfortable enough to reach out to me if they have questions or need help. That's not always the reality, so that's what I've been grappling with this school year.
Yeah, of course, and it's also interesting that you're a long-term substitute, which must make it even weirder, I guess, for you. But with all of the pandemic going on and not being able to be in a physical classroom, what are some of the things you do to connect with your students?
I would say that in previous school years, I used to rely on those daily conversations with my students in passing period or before or after class. So this has been really tough in this remote environment, developing those connections and relationships. I try to come to class a couple minutes early and spend those first few minutes of class checking in on my students. I've developed for better or for worse, the habit of asking my students how they're doing or what's going on in their lives, and if they're feeling tired or quiet. I've been filling the silence with personal anecdotes. So there's that, probably oversharing more than they would like to know. I've been trying to leave lots and lots of feedback as much as I can on the assignments that I ask them to complete and submit to me, so interacting with them in that way. Yeah, so that's kind of how I've been tackling connecting with students in this remote environment.
I think those are really good ways that you are connecting with the students from a student standpoint. Hearing a teacher's 2 cents is always pretty interesting. So, what's one thing students might be surprised to learn about you?
So I don't think I'm that surprising of a person. If I had to pick, I haven't shared with my current students, it would probably be that in the first few months of the pandemic, when we were in lockdown and we were all staying inside, I spent that time co-authoring a children's book with my mom. So I don't know if anyone else has a quarantine story that's similar to that, but that's how we spent a lot of our time.
That's really awesome. Can you tell me the name of the book and what it's about?
I was worried you were going to ask me that because I don't want this to sound like a plug.
No, it's
But
completely okay.
the name of the book is In a Dream. I wasn't good enough for the cover, apparently. She forgot to put me on the cover.
Oh, no.
So it's just my mom's name on the cover. So it's In a Dream by Anne Huang. I think you can buy it. I'll have to double check. I think you can buy it from Amazon. I think that's where we decided to have the books hosted. So yeah, I'm on the inside cover. I'm not good enough for the front. But we wrote it together, and we found an illustrator we liked, and that was our quarantine project.
That is super awesome. How long did it take you to write it, or you and your mother?
It's kind of hard to say because it was just a series of messages back and forth, and her sending me Word documents with random titles, which irritates me because I like to title my docs, with specifically what they are, and all of her docs were titled with random things. So helping her navigate the technology between that and the writing process and the editing process, I would say, yeah, probably about 3 months, I guess, of writing and then figuring out how to get it online and finding an illustrator. It wasn't, I encourage all my students who enjoy writing to pursue it and to hone their talent. I had the privilege of reading personal narratives with my current batch of students. They wrote personal narratives, and those were really, really fun and engaging to read. And honestly, several of those students definitely have the ability to write and to be published, I feel, particularly if they continue honing their talents. So I'd encourage any students out there who are aspiring writers to go for it.
A big thank you goes to Ms. Pfister for taking the time to chat with us, as well as Audrey for making this interview happen. Please visit our Instagram page at KANG News Live for a link to the children's book Ms. Pfister wrote with her mother. If you want to see your favorite teacher get highlighted on KANG News, you can nominate them by sending us an email at lwkangnews@gmail.com and telling us what makes them so wonderful.
We'd like to remind you that JSA is looking for new members. They hold weekly debates and discussions focusing on all topics like civil rights, women's rights, environmental rights, and voter rights. They meet every Thursday at 4:15. If you're interested in joining, email s-dnewman@lwsd.org.
The sophomore class is hosting a fundraiser at the Mod Pizza in Totem Lake on December 9th, which is the upcoming Wednesday. Stop by anytime from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. and use the code GOKANGS at checkout, and a portion of the proceeds will benefit the class of 2023. Go enjoy some delicious pizza and support our school. It's a win-win.
Before we go, here's a reminder we still want to hear about the video games you think are overrated. Send us an email, DM us on Instagram, whatever's easiest for you, and we'll feature your answer on our next KANG Q.
That's it for this week's broadcast. Thanks for watching KANG News. I'm Jessica.
And I'm Kyanna. Have a great weekend, LDub.